You can never fully grasp the depth of something just by looking at it. Now, that's especially true when the thing in question is an ancient artifact. Making sense of artifacts usually demands a long, intricate process of analysis and investigation, and even then, you're often left with more mysteries than answers. That's exactly the story behind every single artifact you are going to see in this video. Even after all this time, there's still so much we don't understand about them. Let's begin this countdown with number 15, the Athenian curse tablets. Long before petty arguments played out over tweets, the people of ancient Athens had a far more dramatic outlet for grudges. In February 2020, archaeologists recovered over 30 of these ominous lead inscriptions from the bottom of a well in Kerameikos, the city's ancient cemetery. Roughly 2,500 years old, each tablet bears scratchy handwritten appeals to the underworld gods, asking them to punish named enemies. Some inscriptions are personal, while others may relate to business or politics. No one's quite sure. These weren't casual complaints. By throwing them into wells, authors believed they were sending their requests closer to the chthonic deities believed to dwell beneath the earth. Curse tablets were fairly common across ancient Greece and Rome, but this batch is unique due to its volume and preservation. They're grim reminders of how seriously Athenians took revenge, and how ritualized even personal conflict could become in the classical world. Petty beef, but make it spiritual warfare. Number 14, Orcne Quernstone. Scotland's Orkney Islands are home to some of Europe's oldest Neolithic ruins, including Skara Brae. But in 2014, something even older may have come to light. A farmer in St. Ola stumbled upon what's now known as the Orcne Quernstone, buried in a field near Seaview Rock. At first, it seemed like a typical grindstone, used by early farmers to mill grain. But further digging revealed broken ceramics and arrowheads nearby, hinting at an even older settlement. This simple tool might predate Skara Brae by 500 years. Cornstones like this were once a household essential, a sign of permanence and domestic life in the Stone Age. According to local historian Professor Chris G., 2 small homes likely once stood near the site, built by people just starting to embrace the idea of fixed living spaces. While modest, the find reshapes timelines and proves that even seemingly ordinary objects can rewrite what we thought we knew about prehistoric life. Number 13, the Lindau Gospels. The Linda Gospels are a beautiful enigma, less a cohesive book and more a centuries-old mashup of sacred parts. It's a religious manuscript stitched together over generations, with almost none of the original version left intact. The current back cover was crafted in 8th century Austria, while the mismatched front cover was added at least a century later, likely from a Frankish workshop. Inside, the text was penned in the 9th century at the Abbey of St. Gall in Switzerland. That means the back cover is older than the actual writings inside. Stranger still, no one even knew about the Linda Gospels until 1691, when they surfaced in a tiny convent library on Germany's Linda Island. Some elements resemble insular art from the British Isles, while others hint at Byzantine craftsmanship. It's an unintentional Frankenstein's monster of holy relics, assembled across borders and centuries, whose origin story is still tangled in mystery and silence. Number 12, the Magic Potatoes of Pitt Rivers Museum. In a museum known for its bizarre relics, the display of shriveled, uncooked potatoes at the Pitt Rivers Museum in Oxford still manages to raise eyebrows. According to an Old English folk belief, stolen potatoes had the power to cure rheumatism. Victorians genuinely believed that placing a raw, pilfered potato in one's pocket could draw out the pain over time. And not just any spud would do. It had to be taken secretly to work its magic. This led to a strange wave of potato theft across farms and markets in 19th century England. People would carry the same potato for years, convinced that its gradual shrinking meant it was absorbing their illness. The superstition seems absurd today, but back then, it was common enough to become part of folk medicine. The exhibit isn't a joke. It's a weird but genuine record of how far people once went to feel good. Number 11. The Lost Wax Amulet of Margar. When archaeologists unearthed a corroded amulet in Margar in 2016, they had no idea what they were holding. Believed to be around 6,000 years old, the small object seemed ordinary until researchers studied how it was made. What they discovered marked a turning point. This amulet is the oldest known example of lost wax casting in human history. That process, used even today, involves sculpting an item in wax, coating it with clay, and then baking it. As the wax melts away, it leaves a cavity that's filled with molten metal, forming the final shape. The technology required to heat metal to such extreme temperatures was thought to have come much later, but this amulet rewrites that timeline. The craftsmanship is impressive, but what's more astonishing is the level of innovation hidden inside something so small. It proves that even ancient societies understood complex metallurgy long before modern textbooks gave them credit for it. Number 10. Vendel helmets. Before Viking helmets became the center of pop culture, the warriors of the Vendel era wore armor that was far more ornate and far more mysterious. These helmets, mainly found at sites like Valsgärde and Vendel, date from the 6th to 9th centuries. They're masterfully crafted and often gold-plated, bearing intricate detailing unmatched even by later Norse examples. Some similar finds have turned up across Europe, including in the UK, hinting at a broad cultural reach. What makes these helmets intriguing is how little we know about the people who wore them. The Vendel left no written records, yet other cultures noted them as fierce fighters and skilled traders. If their helmets are any indication, they had access to wealth and metallurgy far beyond what's expected of a society without a written legacy. They weren't simply predecessors to the Vikings. They were their own force, rich in style and feared across early medieval Europe. Number 9. The Golden Diadem of Tutankhamun. This golden diadem, once resting on the mummified head of Tut, is a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian craftsmanship. Designed to secure his ceremonial wig, it also symbolized divine protection in the afterlife. Discovered by Howard Carter in 1922, the headband gleams with delicate cloisonné inlays, carnelian, turquoise, lapis lazuli, and blue glass encircle its surface. At the center, two powerful protective goddesses, Nekhbet, the vulture, and Wadjet, the cobra, are depicted in stunning detail, their obsidian eyes watching eternally. Papyrus flowers fashioned from malachite and chalcedony adorn the band, enhancing its symbolic beauty. Curiously, during mummification, the cobra and vulture were not positioned on the crown itself, but placed elsewhere, likely as part of a broader funerary arrangement. Though intended for the next world, the craftsmanship and symbolism of this diadem continue to captivate historians today. Number 8. The Bejeweled Skeletons. Between the 1500s and 1800s, the Vatican ordered the excavation of countless anonymous skeletons from Roman cemeteries. These bones were adorned in gold, gems, robes, and crowns, then shipped to Catholic countries and passed off as saintly relics. No one knows why the church began the practice, but these glittering corpses became revered as holy figures. Ironically, they weren't saints at all, just ordinary remains, given sacred status through decoration. The skeletons, now nicknamed catacomb saints, were often displayed in churches and shrines, where they inspired awe and devotion. Some were so elaborately dressed, they resembled monarchs more than martyrs. While their true identities remain unknown, their value today lies in the craftsmanship of their garments and the history they represent. Though the church has long acknowledged the deception, many of these unique relics are still on display. Number 7. Viking box brooches of Gotland. On the island of Gotland, nestled in the Baltic Sea, Viking-era box brooches played a powerful social and symbolic role. Gotland was a major trading hub, and its elite commissioned intricate jewelry crafted by decentralized networks of artisans. These brooches weren't just decorative, they marked important life events, often placed in the graves of girls transitioning into adulthood. Richly detailed with imported materials, they embodied family legacy, social identity, and personal status. Some brooches were passed down for generations, while others were made for ceremonial use. In rare instances, brooches were removed from circulation and transformed into ritual objects like ceremonial cups. The placement of these pieces within graves, surrounded by native Gotlandic jewelry, was deliberate, shaping an ideal image of womanhood for the afterlife. More than just fancy accessories, these brooches symbolized power, ancestry, and belonging. Number 6. Medieval graffiti in English churches. Graffiti isn't just a modern nuisance, it's been around for centuries. In fact, many medieval churches across England still bear strange carvings made by anonymous hands hundreds of years ago. These markings aren't random doodles. Often, they depict human faces, ships, and even windmills, repeated symbols that appear across multiple sites. Some carvings are even dated, suggesting their makers took pride in their work. Historians believe many were meant to serve a spiritual function, protecting the church or its visitors from evil. These images are considered apotropaic, symbols used to ward off misfortune. A carved ship might represent a prayer for someone at sea, while a windmill could reflect a hope for a successful harvest. Their exact meanings, though, remain unclear. They offer a rare and oddly personal window into the beliefs, fears, and hopes of everyday people from long ago, etched permanently into stone walls. Number 5. Oldest Homo sapiens jaw. In June 2017, archaeologists made a staggering find in Jebel Irhoud, Morocco, a nearly complete lower jaw that rewrites human origins. Until this moment, the oldest known Homo sapiens fossils were 195,000 years old. This mandible, it's closer to 300,000. That's not just older, it's game-changing. The discovery suggests early humans didn't emerge from a single location in East Africa, but evolved across multiple regions of the continent at once. Africa wasn't the cradle of humanity, it was the entire nursery. Alongside the jawbone, tools and flint blades were found, some burned, possibly in early fire-making efforts. This hints that our ancestors were not only physically modern in appearance, but had already begun experimenting with fire, shaping tools, and forming culture earlier than previously assumed. The jaw's structure also shows recognizably human features, even far back in time. The find doesn't just nudge the timeline, it kicks the door open on everything we thought we knew about human evolution. Number 4. The Iron Crown of Lombardy. The Iron Crown of Lombardy is both a sacred relic and a political artifact. Despite its small size, suggesting it may have originally been a votive object or armlet, it eventually gained status as a royal crown, most famously used in the coronation of Holy Roman Emperor Henry VII in 1312. Constructed from 6 gold plates joined by a narrow inner band of iron, the crown is richly decorated with jewels and translucent enamel work, possibly influenced by Byzantine artisanship. The iron band at its core, long thought to be forged from a crucifixion nail, wasn't mentioned in early records, leading experts to believe it may have been added during the 12th century. Officially sanctioned for veneration in 1717 by the Congregation of Relics in Rome, the crown is housed in the Cathedral of Monza. Whether or not it contains a relic of Christ, its legacy is inseparable from Italian history and medieval religious symbolism. Number 3. The Crusader earring of Modian Maccabean Reut. In June 2017, while helping with a school excavation project in Modian Maccabean Reut, a group of Israeli students made a dazzling discovery: a 900-year-old gold earring buried in the ruins of a Crusader-era fortress. The structure, located on Tura Hill, about 20 miles west of Jerusalem, is believed to have been built by Frankish settlers during the time of the Crusades. The earring was found in what archaeologists think was the fortress's kitchen, suggesting it may have been lost by accident, perhaps dropped by a cook or a guest. Its design is intricate, with delicate loops and fine detailing, hinting at wealth and status. The fortress itself has been inhabited for over 6,000 years, so artifacts from different eras frequently turn up. Alongside the earrings, students also uncovered rings, bracelets, and hairpins. But the origin of the jewelry remains unknown. Number 2. The 1,000-year-old Bible. In early 2015, Turkish authorities intercepted a remarkable artifact during an undercover operation, an ancient Bible believed to be roughly 1,000 years old. The book was being smuggled through the city of Tokat, though how it ended up there remains unclear. Its pages are crafted from gold leaf and written in ancient Assyrian, featuring hand-drawn images of religious figures, including depictions of Christ. While the cover is almost entirely destroyed, the pages inside remain legible, their intricate designs still preserved. Laboratory testing confirmed its age, but the Bible's origin, who created it, and for what purpose, is still uncertain. Despite its condition, historians view it as a rare piece that helps map the spread of Christianity during the darker chapters of the medieval era. Though damaged, the artifact's survival alone is extraordinary, offering a glimpse into the complex faith practices and manuscript craftsmanship of the time. It's now safeguarded for future scholars to continue decoding its story. Number 1. The Cheapside Horde. Discovered beneath a home in Cheapside, London in 1912, the Cheapside Horde is one of the most dazzling Elizabethan-era treasure finds ever recorded. The collection, which includes over 400 pieces, rings, necklaces, pendants, cameos, and a remarkable watch carved from a single emerald, dates back to the 16th and early 17th centuries. For years, experts doubted its authenticity. But in 2019, after extensive testing, every piece was confirmed genuine. The house it was buried beneath once belonged to a jeweler, likely someone who hid the items during the English Civil War to keep them safe. Unfortunately, the Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed the property, sealing the hoard underground. Later, construction built over the wreckage, leaving the treasure untouched for centuries. Now that its origins are verified, the Cheapside Horde isn't just a stunning collection. It's a frozen moment from a turbulent era when goldsmiths risked everything to preserve their life's work from flames and conflict. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon in the next one.